to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by Brian Kratzer, who is the director of the Missouri Photo Workshop. How are you, Brian?
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course. Thank you for letting us talk you into coming.
Of course.
Thank you for that. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about this Missouri Photo Workshop. I just learned lots before we came on the air.
No, wonderful. Thank you for asking. The Missouri Photo Workshop is in its 77th year. We have been documenting small town Missouri since 1949. The first one was right here in Columbia, Missouri. It was a way that then photojournalism instructor Cliff Edom and his wife Vi were like, how do we bring big-time photo editors and photographers into Missouri, have photographers come here, but also with a very important message of trying to document with respect and dignity the residents of our state. And that first one, he drew on the expertise of Roy Stryker, who had been the photo editor and director of the photography team from the Farm Security Administration during the Great Depression. So this was a person who led a team of photographers who went across the nation documenting the strife and the struggles of our Depression era. So Roy and Cliff Edom came together to kind of figure out how to build a workshop. How do we do that type of documentary photography, the gritty, important storytelling of our time in this state, and let's use Missouri as a lab.
Using Missouri as a lab.
Yeah.
And how many of these small towns have you done? So, well, if it's been going for 77 years, surely you've covered.
We've covered a few. Yeah. We've covered a few, and we've revisited a few. So in 77 years, this year will be a 53rd new town. In a couple weeks, in the last full week of September, we're going to go to Union, Missouri, which will be our 53rd new town. Very excited, and they have some wonderful cheerleaders for their town. I've visited there a few times and taken a tour, and I think we're going to be set up pretty well to have 40 photojournalists from around the world descend into Union and find picture stories. So that's kind of the important part of this workshop. Is not. There are many wonderful workshops in the world. There's nature photography, there's landscape photography, there's portrait photography, and this is very special. There's no other one like this in the world where the photojournalists come into a small town. We ask them to find a story. So imagine coming in from somewhere, learning about Union, learning about the residents, trying to meet people. What makes these people tick? What do they care about, right? And then figuring that out and then coming back to your faculty team. These are faculty who might be the photo editor at the LA Times, National Geographic photo editor, there's a photo editor from the New York Times. I mean, these are people who, one faculty member has won a Pulitzer, one has won a Pulitzer, one is a Pictures of the Year winner. So you can imagine that if you were a photographer who is put into a new town, asked to find an important and intimate story to photograph for a week, you can imagine that they might be a little anxious showing up to little Union, Missouri in a few weeks.
How do you prepare a town for this?
Great question. We kind of joke that we look for the smallest town with enough hotel rooms. Okay. There's about 40 photographers, the 10 faculty. We bring about 20 University of Missouri students along with us as the crew. So we blossomed to about 80 to 90 people total. So that's a few hotel rooms. That's a few restaurants. We bring in some food. So there's certainly a large logistical aspect to doing this. The assistant city administrator in Union was wonderful. He gave me a tour of the town, showed me possible headquarter locations. So all those calculations are happening as I'm kind of looking around and saying, I think this might be a wonderful town. It's funny because Union was on the radar, but the previous year we went down to Kennett, Missouri, which is a wonderful little town in the Boot Hill, off of the interstate. Sheryl Crow's hometown, actually. And so we had a wonderful workshop in Kennett, and I thought on the way back to myself, I should drive through Union and just scope it out for a second, right? So when I went through there, saw the Super 8, this might just work out.
There's a Super 8, this is our spot. This is our spot. I just wonder, like, how are the residents prepared to know that these photojournalists are coming and they might want to talk to you?
Exactly. So we ask for the town, and it's a little presumptuous maybe, to throw us a welcome party.
Oh.
Okay. So there's going to be food and tables and an introduction to ourselves. So I'll show up. The mayor will show up. We'll probably both say a few words. I'll introduce what the workshop's all about and tell, why are all these photojournalists suddenly scavenging through our town? And kind of put that into context that we're really here to tell your story. We're here because of you. And we want to understand you. We want to teach these photographers how to find a story and how to make intimate, honest pictures.
Wow.
In a week with just 400 frames. They only get 400 frames for the entire week. These photographers tell a story in 400 frames. And the mission there is that this isn't sports photojournalism. Well, I send my students to a Mizzou game and they're firing off, like 1,000 frames or whatever in a few hours. This is the antithesis of that. This is slow down, look the person in the eye, watch their characteristics, understand who is in their world that they interact with. Mm-hmm. So that frame is precious. That moment is precious because this story is precious.
That's awesome. And then sometimes
if
they get to produce, if you're lucky, a book similar to this one. Yeah. You said they don't always make it into a book, but sometimes they do.
You're right. Sometimes they do. I mean, it depends on money. I mean, books aren't cheap. But when we do have them, they're wonderful. The town, we'll give them to the bank, and the bank will hand them out, or there'll be gifts. Whatever. We really appreciate the town and allowing us to come in and kind of investigate their lives a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What a wonderful project. I am so glad that we were able to push your arm enough to get you here.
My pleasure. I love talking about photography.
To talk about it. Website is MissouriPhotoWorkshop.org. If anybody is interested, and I'm sure you can find out more about the project. It is highly interesting. What a great project that you get to work on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we were so happy to learn more about it. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.